Hey everyone, it's me, Donna. As some of you may know, about a month ago, I got a National Geographic Natgeo 2.0 DNA kit, and I sent in my results. It was around the first part of April. Of course, it got sent to Helix because I reckon Helix, besides being their own company that does their own DNA research and everything, they also contract out to other companies. So they'll take your DNA and process it and then send the results to those other companies. Okay, so that's what I did. All right, it took about a month, or anywhere from 3 weeks to a month to process my DNA. Okay, and then once it got processed from Helix and they sent it to Natgeo, it took about a week for them to then turn around and display my results. Okay, the cool part about Helix was that they offered me a free report in the meantime. Like once they got through processing my DNA, they had an offer where you get like a free report, and also there were some other things that had to do with your DNA and all that. It also offered that for free for a limited time. I thought, hey, I'm going to do that. So I did. And boy, am I glad that I did. Because the results that I got back from Helix were pretty cool. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that first before I show the Natgeo results, because I actually like the results that I got from Helix a lot better than I do the results that I got from Natgeo. Okay. All right, this is what Helix had to say about my DNA. According to them, I have 92.5% Northwestern European, which includes everything from the Iberian Peninsula to all the way up into England and Scandinavia and all that. It includes all that, okay? And within that region, I've got 2.5% Sardinian and 1.2 Ashkenazi Jewish, which the Jewish has been showing up in other reports as well. So apparently I have Jewish in me, okay? Alrighty. Then I also have 2% Middle Eastern and North African. I am 2% Persian, which that has showed up in other DNA test results. So I know I have that in me. The northern part of Africa, the Persian and then Egyptian and all that. So I have that according to their the panel that they use and their algorithms. This is what they've come up with. Okay. All right, and also I have 1.5% South Asian, Punjabi and Pathan Pashtun. So yeah, and that has showed up in other DNA tests too. So apparently I am South Asian Indian. I have that in me. I don't know exactly where that comes from, just like I don't know exactly like where the Middle Eastern and North African stuff comes from. I'm starting to get hints as I'm working on my tree. I'm starting to notice things. I'm starting to notice people's names and things like that. And there's just certain things that from what I've read that have happened that have kind of made me think that, okay, maybe this is where that's coming in, but I haven't quite narrowed it down yet. So it's just one of those things when you're looking back through history, especially, your family tree, some things are just going to be you know, a real hard thing to find out, you know. So I'm going to keep trying, though. All right. And also, I have 0.3% Ocean Melanesian. I guess you can say Polynesian, and that has showed up in other DNA results. So this is the way that I look at it. I don't get too wrapped up in the percentages. I just focus on the fact that it does show up. Like, it shows up in different tests and stuff like that, because the percentages always seem to vary. Like, in some tests, the Polynesian was quite a bit higher than that. It was like 2-point-something% and all that. So, you know, I like I said, I try not to get too focused on the actual percentage. The point is, it exists. It's there. Those people existed, and they gave me their DNA. So that's what I look at. Okay, the only thing that I was disappointed in that's missing from this report that has showed up in like GEDmatch, etc., and also 23andMe showed my Middle African. You know, I wish that would have showed up. Also, as well as the Native American, that showed up in GEDmatch as well. But it did not show up here. So, you know, and also my Eastern Asian, it has showed up in GEDmatch. And there was another free DNA test that I took, I believe it was WeGene, that actually showed my Chinese. So I was like, okay. But yet it didn't show up here. So, which, you know, like I said, the point is, if it shows up in any of these tests, then I know that I have it. Okay? That's how I look at it. It's just some companies are going to show things that others don't, and it does depend on the reference panel that they're using, as well as their equations that they go by to determine this stuff. But the point is, if it shows up somewhere, then you know you have it. So, yeah. Okay. So, you know, this is pretty much the information about that. I won't bore you with all the details of that. But yeah, so, you know, overall, I was pretty pleased with these results. And to me, that was worth my money, because it was on sale on Amazon, and I thought, hey, go for it, you know? So, hey, it was worth it to me, okay? But here comes the Natgeo results, okay? They weren't exactly the best, but I will say that I'm more pleased with these results than I was with Ancestry.com's results. As far as I'm concerned, if you're going to spend your money and you want ethnicity, Ancestry.com is one of the worst places to get your results, especially if it's anything past the last 200 years. They're just going to give you the major stuff, okay? So, you know, but as far as like a tree, like I have stated before in other videos, if you're actually doing ancestry results, or excuse me, ancestry research, and you want to find family and link up with other family members, if you're searching for family members or whatever, then in my opinion, Ancestry.com is the best way to go, you know, if you're going to be doing both those things, because they have more people on their website and everything. So I really think, as far as that goes, it's worth it. Plus, they have a new DNA through lines feature that if you start making your tree and it starts matching up with other people, with your other DNA cousins and stuff, it merges your tree and their tree together, given your DNA results and their DNA results, and it tries to show you where you meet on a common tree, and that really helps with that. I mean, that has been like a major help with my tree. I love it. I love that feature. Now, there's some things that can cause it to be a little confusing and everything, but once you figure out, like if somebody else makes a little mistake or something on their end of the tree and they've got people put in the wrong place or whatever, it might can cause a problem. But if you look at it and you kind of think about it and you look at people's dates and you know, certain things, then you can kind of figure out that, okay, you know, this is human error, and then you can go in with your own tree and fix whatever it is. So yeah, I mean, you know, it's not 100% as far as getting everything matched up, because I mean, it's a new thing and it's trying to work out all the kinks, and it's going by both DNA and your input that you put on your tree, so naturally there's going to be errors. But once people start paying more attention and start working out their own kinks in their own trees, then things will become more accurate and everything. But the bottom line is, with this feature, the person does have to be kin to you before they show up anywhere within your through lines tree match. So even if, say, if they've got themselves positioned in the wrong area, coming in from their line into your line, the point is they are kin to you, or they wouldn't even be put on the through lines feature. Like, you wouldn't even be matched up with that person at all in any way if they did not share DNA with you. So at least you know that that person is kin to you somehow, some way, even if you or they have something a little bit wrong. But again, if people go back and look at their trees, then some things are pretty easily figured out. But anyway, I'm going to shut up about that. Okay, let's get into these results. Okay, all right. The Natgeo 2.0 results. And let me state this about this company: they will not report anything that, or at least it states in its information that it will not report anything that's below 2%. So any of these other things that I know that I have in me, if it determines, according to its reference panel of people and its calculation, if it finds that my DNA is smaller than 2% of a particular ethnicity, it will not report it. So in that sense, I was disappointed, because again, there's some things that are going to be below 2% that I know that I have, that I would love to actually see in my report. You know, it's going to be below 2%, but I still want to see it. You know what I mean? So, I think they need to do better as far as that goes, and go ahead and just report it. Let people see it, because it's there. It does exist. So let them see it, so that if they are doing research, then when they come across those people, they won't be like, oh, I know I don't have Jewish. I know I don't have so-and-so, because I didn't see it. Well, that's because they're not reporting it, even though it's there. Okay? So, yeah. So, needless to say, there were some things that were the same or similar to Helix and other tests, but there were some things that they didn't report. Okay? Of course, I've got, according to them, I have 64% Northwestern European. Okay, I have 25% Eastern European, 6% Italy and Southern Europe, and 2% Jewish. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it for that. And then it goes and it tells you, like, it'll pick out people from a certain population reference, and they'll show what they have, what the average person of that reference population has. It will match it against what you have and show what you have in common with the average person, the average person from that population. So here's the Dutch population. It's got me matched up against. And then this is the German population. It shows what they have compared to what I have. Okay. Alrighty, so that's that for that. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard. Okay, because there's more to what they offer besides just your ethnicity report. They also offer other things such as your genius match. Okay, apparently they have up to I think it's 40 people that they've gotten their DNA or DNA from close relatives or whatever that they match you against, and they see where you have at least some DNA that matches up with those people. So several thousand years ago, some of my DNA matches with these people, and out of their 40 something people, I match up with about 10 people. Okay. Alright, so some of these people are Petrarch. He was a poetic genius from the 1300s. And of course, remember what I said about Abraham Lincoln? Well, there he is. That just cracks me up, because I think everybody pretty much gets Abraham Lincoln. Okay, I also got Queen Victoria. That was the queen that I could not think of when I was talking in my other video. She's in there too, just like Nicholas Copernicus. He's in there. Benjamin Franklin, Maria Antoinette, Napoleon, Maria Theresa, which she is the mother of Maria Antoinette. Alright, and then also Richard III, akin to him, and Jesse James. So somewhere along the way, thousands of years ago, there's DNA from me that matches up with these people. I'm kind of disappointed with this feature. I really think it would be cool, and which I know it would be hard. It's not easy to get people's DNA, especially people who've been dead for a long time. But it would be kind of cool if, through all their research, which I know scientists have gotten DNA from, mummies, from all kinds of people throughout history, and it wouldn't be too hard to track down family that come from, that has been verified from a certain line. It would be neat if they could get more people throughout history, and instead of calling them geniuses, just call them historical figures, famous historical figures, and match people up against that. It'd be cool to see the results, because I know through my own family tree that I am kin to King Henry I and King Henry II, through the Warrens. The Warren line goes right up in there. So I know I'm kin to them people, and also I'm kin to the Descartes, through the French and all that stuff. So yeah, it'd be neat if people from those lines were in here to compare to, but compared to the considering the fact that there's only maybe 40 people that they have on hand to compare you to, that's not too bad, But anyway, I'm going to shut up and get out of here. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay, then there is the, let's see, where's it at? Your deep ancestry. That's where it shows, which this showed up in other areas. So they're right as far as my haplogroup coming from my mother. It's K2B1. So that has showed up in other DNA tests. So I know they're right about that. Of course, it's the out of Africa theory that they all seem to have about us having one ancestor that comes out of Africa, and in their theory you evolve, like you mutate as you move. Here's my theory. I think that yes, a lot of people have an ancestor that did move out of Africa, but I believe instead of mutating, I just believe that these people mated with other beings, other humanoids of other races, of other, maybe even of other planets that were put here, and that's how it changed. I don't think that it changed through evolution. I just cannot. I do not buy that story. You know, I can buy the evolution thing with some things, but not with humans, not like it has been, not at this extreme of change. Like, you cannot convince me that an African changed into an Asian just because they took a right turn instead of a left turn. The logic of that is stupid, but I do believe that they mated with someone from that area, some being from that area, and that's how that could have happened. Just like, the ones that go into other areas or whatever. I just believe that there were other beings within those areas that they mated with that caused that to happen. I just can't buy the whole just evolution just because of where you went. That caused you, the weather caused you to turn into something else. It's just stupid and ridiculous, and I just, but I do think it's cool that the fact that they mapped it out as far as, because I am believing the African part of me did eventually evolve into, the different lines and everything as far as the DNA mutating over time. But like I said, I'm just not buying the whole complete evolution of going from one race to another. I just, not buying it. But anyway, that's what that is, okay? So I'm going to get out of here and shut up about that, okay? Let me go on down. Okay, and then it talks about your hominin, however you want to say it, ancestry. So yeah, it tells you how much of a Neanderthal you are. And out of the 2.1 average, I'm 1.5, which, I figured that because it showed up kind of high on my 23andMe results. So I'm not shocked at these results. So yeah. Okay, that is pretty much it as far as this goes. Like I said, I wasn't as disappointed as about my ethnicity report with this company as I was with Ancestry. But where this company fails is it still needs to do better. They still need, in my opinion, to report things that are below 2%. I think those things are just as important as the 2% or above ethnicity. I want to know, so share it with me. So as far as that goes, Helix has got that beat by far. So yeah, the thing that's also missing from this company is, the ability to do a family tree and all that, but that's not really the purpose or the point of this company. This company is just basically trying to do their African research and also just to pinpoint people's ethnicity. So, their goal is not to help people with family trees or anything like that. So if that's what you're looking for, go to Ancestry.com. But if you're just looking for ethnicity, I would get one of these kits that goes through Helix in order to do that. But the only thing is, you cannot, at this point in time, you cannot take your raw DNA, even from the raw DNA that got sent to Natgeo. When you download it. You cannot use it on GEDmatch or any of these other companies to get any deeper results or anything, because it will tell you that something's missing. In other words, they intentionally leave out some of your DNA in your raw DNA report to where you cannot use it anywhere else. And the kicker is, you have to pay about $500 to Helix in order to get your full DNA report. So that's kind of disappointing as far as that goes. But, like I said, as long as you're just getting, your ethnicity report for there, and, you want to just spend a few bucks to check it out, then it's worth it, in my opinion. At least the Helix part, that was totally worth it. So, yeah. But of course, out of all the DNA stuff that I have used, I think GEDmatch is the best. And I love the fact that as of right now, it's free. Now, you can upgrade where you pay more money to get like tier 1, tier 2, blah, 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 to get more features and everything. But I love the fact that just the basic stuff is free, and it gives you a lot more detail. You can run your DNA against different models. It's got all kinds of different models and everything that you can run your DNA against, and you can kind of find commonality in those different results, and it's so much deeper, and I love it. So, in my opinion, that's the best one for any kind of results. And so you can take your 23andMe and your Ancestry.com results, your raw DNA from those companies. You can download it to your computer and then upload it to GEDmatch and really find out what you're made of, instead of using those two companies that are not exactly that good, So, yeah, but anyway, that's my results as of right now.